Welcome to this tutorial on integrating AI-powered chat functionality with Syncfusion's Angular Chat UI component. The Angular Chat UI is a lightweight and highly customizable component designed for creating modern chat interfaces. It displays conversations between two or more users, offering powerful features like real-time typing indicators, on-demand message loading, and message suggestions, and providing a great user experience. In this video, I will walk you through the process of building an interactive chat interface where users can ask questions and receive responses from an AI. I will cover everything from setting up the Syncfusion Chat component to customizing the UI, adding message sending capabilities, and finally connecting it to an AI backend using OpenAI's API. Before proceeding further, make sure you have installed the latest version of Node.js. I will be creating the application using the Angular CLI tool. I will edit my code using Visual Studio Code and show the output in Chrome browser. Let's start the application creation process. I open Visual Studio Code and install the Angular CLI using the command npm install -g at angular/CLI. Next, I will create a new Angular project. I use the command ng new project name and name my project, My Angular App. With an option to add a CSS style sheet, I chose the CSS option. The project creation has started, and an Angular project with dependencies has been created. Now, let me navigate to the project folder. To use the Angular Chat UI component, I need to install the Syncfusion Interactive Chat package using the command npm install at syncfusion/ej2angular interactive chat -save. The application is now ready to use. The first thing I must do here is to register the trial license key to use Syncfusion components. So, I open the main.ts file and import the register license method from the Syncfusion EJ2 base package. Using this method, I register the trial license key. To learn how to generate this license key, refer to the link in the description below. The application is now configured to use Syncfusion components. Next, to integrate the Chat UI component, I navigate to the app component TS file and begin by importing the required Syncfusion modules into the application. First, I import Forms module and Reactive Forms module, which are helpful for form binding and chat interactions. Next, I import the Chat UI module from Syncfusion EJ2 Angular Interactive Chat. This is the module that contains all the functions required to display and interact with Syncfusion's Chat UI component. Under the imports array, I add Forms module, Reactive Forms module, and Chat UI module. Next, to add the Chat UI component, I navigate to the app component HTML file and remove the default code. Next, I create a division element and add the Syncfusion Chat UI component using the directive EJS Chat UI, from which the chat component will render. I also provide an ID called Chat UI, which can be used later to access the instance or apply styles programmatically. To apply styles, I navigate to the styles CSS file and add necessary CSS references by importing the Tailwind theme. Next, I implement a class to align the Chat UI component. I set the height to 380 pixels, width to 450 pixels, and add a margin top of 50 pixels. Then, I will apply the same class to the division element to ensure proper alignment. At this stage, I haven't added any dynamic messages, customization, or AI integration. This setup is the bare minimum required to render the Syncfusion Chat UI successfully in the Angular app. Now, I save the changes and run the application using the ngserve command. On the output screen, you can see that the Chat UI component is rendered. Here, Chat UI component is fully configured in the Angular application. The next step is adding a conversation to the chat component. To add the chat conversation, first I import the user model from Syncfusion EJ2 Interactive Chat and add the user models and export class. Next, I navigate to app HTML file and include the eMessages directive inside the Chat UI component. This is where each message that forms part of the conversation thread is displayed. Each message is added using the eMessage tag. Next, I add the text property, which defines the actual message content, so I will assign a message to this property. Lastly, I will add the author property and assign it the value current user model. The author property inside message tags refers to the sender of each message. Next, I will bind the user property with current user model with the Chat UI component. By setting this, the UI knows that Albert is the one currently using the app. In this example, I have created a simple conversation between two users, Albert John and Jack Michael. The following message is linked to the current user model, which represents Albert. Let's check the output. You can see the conversation between users is being displayed. Next, to further customize the Syncfusion Chat UI component, I will modify the title displayed at the top of the chat window. Let's take a look at the example. To change the title of the Chat UI component, I set the header text property to Syncfusion Help Desk. This property allows you to customize the header title of the chat interface, making it personalized or context-specific. Look at the output. The header displays Syncfusion Help Desk, indicating that the conversation is associated with a Syncfusion support. Next, I will add an icon to the header to make it appear more professional. I set the header icon CSS property to eIcons ePeople. Since this is an interaction-based chat, I have chosen an icon that represents people. See the output. An icon resembling a human figure has been successfully added. Similarly, I can customize the avatar. By default, the user's initials derived from their first and last names are used as the avatar. To personalize this, I will replace the default avatar with a specific image by adding the avatar URL property to the respective user model. I will now add the avatar URL property and set the image path in the Michael user model. On the output screen, you can see that the updated avatar image is displayed correctly. So far, I have shown you how to create an Angular application, add the Chat UI component, and configure it with basic functionalities and customizations. Next, I will show you how to turn the Angular Chat UI component into a real-time customer chatbot that handles basic inquiries using AI-generated responses. To achieve this, I explore the Syncfusion Smart AI Sample repository, which demonstrates how to seamlessly integrate AI models with Syncfusion components. To learn more about the Syncfusion Smart AI Sample, refer to the link in the description below. Before diving into the actual integration, it's important to understand that any AI model, whether it's from Google, OpenAI, or any other provider, requires an API key to access its services. For this demonstration, I've chosen Gemini AI by Google, and you can do the same by visiting Google AI Studio. Simply sign in, navigate to the API Access section, and generate your personal API key. Once that's done, you will be ready to integrate Gemini AI into your Angular application. Before integrating Gemini into the chat component, you need to install certain packages to enable AI interaction. I will start by installing the AI SDK by running the npm install AI command. This installs the toolkit, which allows integration with various open-source AI models. Next, I will install an additional package. For that, I type the npm install at ai-sdk/Google command. This package enables seamless connection and interaction specifically with Gemini AI. Next, I will configure the AI with the Chat UI component. I create a file named AI model TS and add the code for AI configuration, which I had derived from the Syncfusion Smart AI sample. In the API key variable, I assign the key generated from Google AI Studio. Then, I navigate to the app component TS file and add the customized code for AI integration. Since this is a customer-based AI interaction, I have renamed the Michael user model to Syncfusion user model for a more professional representation. As configuring the AI with the Chat UI component takes a lot of time, I will show you what's happening in this app component TS file. First, 2 chat users are added. The current user model represents the customer. The Syncfusion user model represents the AI bot, styled with a custom avatar image. The typing users array is initialized with the AI user, which simulates typing indicators during the AI response delay. Now, here's where the AI integration happens inside the onMessageSend method. When the user sends a message, the method checks if the input text is valid. If it is, a typing indicator for the Syncfusion bot is shown. Then, it calls the Gemini AI function to fetch a response from Google's Gemini model. After the response is received, it removes the typing indicator, displays the AI's reply in the chat window using add message. If there is an error, maybe the API fails or the message couldn't be processed, it removes the typing indicator and displays a fallback message saying, "Sorry, I couldn't get a response." And that's it. Now, there is a fully functional real-time AI chatbot powered by Syncfusion's Angular Chat UI and Google Gemini. Lastly, I navigate to the app component HTML file, remove the unwanted conversations, and modify the code as per the requirement. Here, when a user sends a message in the chat, the onMessageSend function is automatically triggered. This allows each message to be processed, such as sending it to Gemini AI or reply. I have also added a default greeting message that appears as soon as the chat loads. By assigning the author property of this greeting to the Syncfusion user model, I make sure the welcome message is shown as coming from the Syncfusion bot. In this way, conversations are handled seamlessly as users interact with the chat interface. Now, see the output. The Syncfusion bot displays a welcome message. When I type "Good morning" and click the send button, the Syncfusion bot responds to the message. Next, I type a query specific to Syncfusion, and the AI provides information relevant to that topic. Let's wrap up this video. I've shown you how to add the Syncfusion Chat component to an Angular application, implement message sending functionality, customize the Chat UI, and connect it with an AI. If you want to try out the example used in this video, you can download it from the GitHub link in the description below. I have also shared a link to learn how to obtain a free license key to use our Angular components through our community license if you are eligible. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, like and subscribe to our channel.